good? Welcome to Find It Tonight. We are live, meaning this is not a recording. This is not a replay. I am live with you tonight, and I have a very special guest, and her name is Erin Gehring, and she has a company called More Than Style. As I sit here in the Studio 11 Style and Find Your Fabulous and Find It podcast room, I just wonder if you guys are going to think we're kindred spirits too. She is something. She and I were on the radio together recently. We will talk about that. We will talk about what everyone really may not talk about, but should, because you wear clothes. We're just going to make you feel fabulous in your clothes. I can't wait for you to meet her. But first, we're going to show her intro. So hang tight, and Erin will be right back with us. Hello, Erin.
Hello. Hi, Debbie.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see your face again. I had so much fun with you on the radio.
Same.
Well, let's just have a little toast, have a little girl cocktail hour right now.
Cheers.
Clink.
Cheers.
Clink. Cheers to this.
Mm-hmm.
I have champs. You have wine. That's a beautiful wine glass. I love it. Mine is plastic. No one can trust that in here. So let's just get down to business and tell everybody how we originally met. Go for it. Tell us.
Well, we were introduced by Mindy Dreyer. I think she's a good friend of yours and someone I met recently at the beginning of this year. She has a radio show, and we were guests on the show together. Yeah, partnered together.
And the funny thing is, she knows me now pretty well. She and I get along very well. And she called me and she said, Debbie, I met Erin. You've got to meet her. I think you're going to love her. You guys have a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I trust your judgment. I want to meet her. And then we Zoomed.
Yeah.
When I Zoomed before we were on the radio together, just to see, you never know, see how we bonded.
Well, and I did my homework too. So when she said, "Oh, my friend Debbie," and she wrote a book, and I bought your book, and
that's a Debbie move. That's a Debbie move too. If I know I'm going to interview someone that has a book, I buy the book because I want to know what's going on.
Totally.
So, and let's just say, since you brought the book up, it makes me laugh so hard. What in there did you say? Oh my gosh, Debbie, I say this.
Everything, like the whole book. Yeah. I read it one Saturday evening, and the whole book is a lot of similarities, especially when it comes to how we think about style. Yeah. But it's page 50. Have you skipped lately? That just made me laugh, because I always tell my husband, you cannot be unhappy and skip at the same time. So,
in fact, you can't skip and be mad. I mean, if you skip, it makes you laugh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You cannot watch somebody skip and not enjoy it.
Yeah, both ways. If you skip or watch someone skip, right. If it's a grown adult, you're like, what are they doing? We'll try it. I don't know what it does, but it makes me laugh so hard. It's been a while since I've skipped. I may skip out of here tonight.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I want everyone to really get to know you and the services that you provide. And so let's talk. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just stop for a second, because Eric is on here. Eric, time to go find it. Been a few minutes since I found it. Connection issues. I may have lost it. Eric, you're so funny. Glad you're here. I'm so glad to see you here, Eric. But we're going to get into talking about style and how to help people feel confident and how to put things together the way that you do, Erin. Mm-hmm. But first, I have a question for you. And that is, what made you decide to be an image consultant?
Always loved clothes. So that, I think that clothes and shopping, child of the late 80s, 90s, went to them all. But I've always loved clothing. And I decided, graduating from or going to college, I decided to major in fashion merchandising. I was going to be Rachel Green from Friends, hands down. I was moving to New York. I was going to get a job, climb the corporate ladder, corner office in New York City.
Get your coffee from Central Perk.
Yeah, of course. Like that was the dream, but you go where you get a job. I got a job in Columbus, Ohio, and climbed the corporate ladder and had a nice spacious cubicle overlooking Easton. So that's kind of how the dream fell apart. But I did, in that, I spent 20 years in corporate retail, learned a ton about clothing, apparel, fashion, and style in terms of fit. I mean, I was responsible for signing off on fit approvals. I learned a ton about color and concept. So I just, at some point in my career, I was feeling a little bit unfulfilled, and I have a heart for service. And I realized that I could take all this knowledge and help women. I also work with some men, but I could help women really feel confident in their decision making when it comes to clothes, really find what works for them, and just kind of help them inspire their confidence. So,
well, Erin, I think that's amazing. And I also have a heart of service, and I also enjoy working with women. And I also had clients that were men, but usually the woman, the wife would hire me and say, please.
Yeah.
And so that's how that would go. But, part of it is I know the significance that there is in what you put on your body. And we all know it's not just about what you wear, and it's about what's on the inside. But let's just be real for a second. Let's not try to pretend that we're not human beings and we're visual, and what you wear represents who you are. That's what people see very first when they meet you, before they get to know you.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, I mean, have you had people say to you, well, why are you doing this? No, how are you going to help people? I mean, people can buy their own clothes. Have you had any pushback in that? Like, why do you charge people to pick out their clothes? But what do you think about that?
I mean, maybe in the beginning, it wasn't that people were pushing back on me. I think I had my own self-doubt. Like, why would anybody pay me to help them do that? That seems like you should be, people can do that for themselves. But as I've been doing this for 3 years, like people see value in it. It is something that people struggle with. I always say all things clothing is overwhelming, whether it's like too many clothes in your closet, too many choices when you're trying to shop for clothes, not to mention shopping is completely different than it used to be. And then how you put it together. Like those 3 things are, can trip people up. Like maybe I have clients who like shopping and pick things out for themselves, but they can't put it together into outfits. So, and other people just want help with all of it. So I think it's,
so that brings me to my next question. So what type of services, so someone can hire you just for an event to pick out something?
They can. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Give me an overview of what services you provide.
Yeah, kind of the meat. I do event styling. I do travel styling and packing. But the bulk of what I do is really kind of taking clients through a process that is like optimizing what they have. So I'll take a look at what they own through a closet edit, and then shopping and styling them with clothes they own and adding new pieces to make more outfits is kind of what I do in totality. Now, sometimes people want to sometimes people want to start over. Like I had a lot of clients when I first started doing this, it was kind of as the world was opening back up, and a lot of people were just ready to start over. They hadn't bought clothes in a while. So I was doing that. Now I'm doing a lot more of like working with what people own and then adding pieces to give them more help.
Oh my gosh, Erin, that is where my jam was. It was that. And I think that's so wise, and it's not taking advantage of people. And of course, you're an honest person. So you're going to go in and say, these things still look good. They fit you nicely. They're basic pieces. Now let's fill in the gaps. Let's see what staples you need or what extras you need to add to what you already have. What is your favorite thing to do?
Well, it's funny. I've gone through different stages of my journey in starting this. I've had different things that I've loved. When I first started, I was convinced that I would be doing closet edits, what you're describing, like taking, and then that's where that would be what most people would want. my first couple of closet edits were so challenging because
Yeah.
I was going in there like promising that I was going to create all these outfits from the clothes that people owned already. And then I think one of my first edits, like people didn't have any clothes. Like they literally, their wardrobe was so small and so specific that I couldn't create outfits. So they were missing a lot of like those foundational pieces, those things that the staples that kind of provide versatility. And I didn't really know how to handle it because I felt like I promised something and then I didn't feel like I was able to deliver it. I've worked those kinks out. And now
we live and we learn,
Yeah. And then I started doing a lot more personal shopping, and I was really just starting from scratch with people. And since then, again, I'm year 3. I do all of those things, but I really do love the edits because when you get in and see what people own, it's a very personal experience, and you really get to know them and understand them a little bit more. And then it does make, if they have me shop for them, it does make that piece a little bit easier because I've really been able to see them in clothes. I know what they have. And I've spent so much time with them that I feel like I know them a little more personally as well. So I really do enjoy the edits and the kind of the whole process again. And then a lot of clients will stay on with me to do special events, or, they'll come back for just significant things in their life. I'm doing some travel trip, Europe trips this summer for people. Nice. So
that's fun, because then you have to understand what the weather's going to be like and how to travel lightly, but have maximizing switching pieces out.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing I want to say about you, Erin. And so anybody watching, because I also do what you do, but I really don't do it right now. And so when I met you, I thought, I want people to hire you because I feel so comfortable with you. So I know that it is a personal journey. I've done this for many, many women. When you go into someone's closet, like you said, to reiterate what you just said, it's very personal, and they feel vulnerable because you're going to tell them truthfully what is working and what isn't. And actually, that's what inspired my book, because it became almost like a therapy session between two girlfriends being, really open and honest and vulnerable with one another.
Yeah.
So that too meant a lot to me. But I will tell you, I mean, what's the longest edit you've ever done? I would call them wardrobe makeovers. But have you been in, I've been in closets for 8 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say probably 5 is the longest. Like I usually do 3-hour chunks. So I'll do 3 hours because at some point I feel like everybody gets a little tired. So I'll do 3 hours with a client. And then if I need to come back, I'll come back. So usually the return trip is another 2 hours. And I document everything for my clients too. So I catalog their clothing and create a virtual closet for them. And that's how I style them in the future. So I know everything that they own. That's perfect. And then I can add pieces to their wardrobe.
That's so perfect and so smart, Erin. Now, what about, have you ever, so I've never had a client that didn't have a ton of stuff. I almost had a little, I was perspiring a little bit when you said you went in and there wasn't anything there to work with. Like it was so small. That would have completely oh my gosh, I thought, you know what I mean?
I never would have thought that. It never occurred to me.
But so I love that you're packing people, you're putting things together. Now, what in your opinion are the key strategies for creating a wardrobe that's maximized? And what am I trying to say? I wrote it down. What are the key strategies for refining wardrobe choices in your opinion?
I think about wardrobe in kind of 5 components. The first 2 being really the personal things that are specific to you. So what are your best colors based on, your hair, skin, eye color. So you're wearing your best colors. Clothes that fit, knowing your body shape and proportions and what you're looking for in clothing to make your clothes work for you, and flatter you or enhance the parts of you that you want to enhance. So that is the really specific part to the client. And then From there, I believe in creating a wardrobe that is based in a strong foundation of basic items, or like simple items that are versatile. They don't have to be boring and basic, but they should be things that you can see worn, in repeat outfits, many ways. And I always say they're kind of timeless. They might last from season to season,
Like
year
the
to
shirt
year.
you have on.
Like the shirt I have on. And so I like a strong foundation. And then the next piece to your wardrobe that's specific to you is what I call your personality pieces. Some people say statement pieces, but I think of it in terms of personality. So what are the things that light you up, that make you feel the most like you? I like to kind of focus in on that. Like some people love stripes or florals or graphic tee. What are the things that make you you? And make sure we have those regardless of trend and what's happening in fashion. Like make sure you're wearing the things that feel like you. And then the last piece is actually the trend piece. Like I like to make sure that there is enough trend infused into a wardrobe that it feels modern. And so trends come and go, but there is, I always say you can choose the trends that work for you and incorporate them into your wardrobe, because that's kind of what keeps someone current. And a lot of the women I work with, they don't want to be too old or too young, and they just overthink clothing in general, like that they can't wear things. So getting people to try things and realize that it works for them and mixed with their favorite pieces.
And that's good information. And for everyone listening too, and I know that Erin agrees with this. I think that you and I actually had a conversation about, I had one of my taglines for Find Your Fabulous was, just because it's in style doesn't mean it's your style. And that sounds kind of rude, but all I meant by that is body shape, body style. If something's in style and you really want it, but it doesn't complement your shape, it's not doing you any favors. But what you just said is a nicer way of saying, find the trends that work for you to add and make your base pieces more current with the trend. I like the way you said it. Sometimes I can be very blunt, Erin.
Well,
I don't mean it. It just
well, what you said though is very to the point. So I like that.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? Just because it's in there, like, you don't think I'm in style? No, it doesn't have anything to do with your style. And the other thing I love that you say that also aligns with my beliefs is, I'm not going to try to put you in something just because I love it. And like you said, when you do wardrobe edits and you get to see kind of what their flavor is, then okay, let's go with this, but let's get this so it fits you. These colors, these styles, but not styles, but these colors, these patterns, these color schemes, and get it to fit your body shape.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't want to push my aesthetic on my clients. I want them to be, my business is more than style, but I want them to be more of who they already are. So if I can enhance.
Ooh, I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. That's a good one. So the other thing is, I know there's a lot of people who will ask, and I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here because this is a difficult question. But as far as shapes go, and when you're trying to style someone that has, let's do this if you can. So let's say large breasts, and the large breasts, but then they have a waist, and maybe like a little pear shaped. But let's say people will, in my opinion, and the people that I've worked with, if you have a large up top, they tend to want to buy things oversized. When you style that shape of woman, how do you help them?
I think when it's a large chest specifically, I usually am most focused on neckline and sleeve length.
Nice.
Because I think the right neckline will soften the amount of volume, the size. So the right neckline is really important. And you want to draw the eye up, not down necessarily. Okay. So the right neckline, and then the sleeve length in particular, when we're thinking of short sleeves, I just want to make sure that the sleeve length is not right in line with the bust when her arms are at her side, or, just that it's either capped depending on how she feels about her upper arms, or it's a little bit longer, a little more 3/4.
That's so true. That is so true. And then that's great information. And hang tight, everybody, because I'm going to ask her some more questions about shape. So now, what about a woman who has a bigger midsection? So has a belly, maybe, has had a baby and she's trying to lose that weight. And in the meantime, what is she doing?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I do think you have to emphasize the waist. So giving her a little bit of a cinched waist above that tummy line, and then allowing the fabric to like gently, fall over, whether that's a peplum or more of a A-line, or not A-line, but like more of a wrap or A-line dress. Or also like like giving her vertical lines over her tummy. So adding the topper. And like right now, a lot of people are wearing shirts like mine, open like a jacket. So it doesn't even heading into the summer, it doesn't have to be a heavy jacket or a blazer or something really complex.
I have Claws button-up shirts right now at Studio 11 style. It's perfect for exactly what Erin is suggesting. You can wear those unbuttoned and wear them like a jacket, and they're 100% cotton. They breathe, so it's all season wear. So that's so true. Let's say this again. Erin just told us if you have a belly, then peplum waistlines are great because it cinches in a little at the waist, but then it flutters out. But then additionally, if you have something on that may be a little fitted in a tank or like a basic piece like I'm wearing right now, and then you wear one of those shirts over it and unbutton, and you create that line she's saying here, and then it goes past the belly. And so it does create an illusion of a smaller belly area there. Cut that in half.
Yeah,
so great information. Are you guys loving this? I'm loving this. I love it. So what about petite girlies? Do you think they can wear flare jeans?
I think they can if the length is right and the rise is right. So, and it's all kind of in how you pair it. Even the shoe, probably it's things like that. It really gets a little bit more in the pairing of the clothes, and that's
why we need people like you and people like me, because you have an eye for fashion. And some people, I mean, I have to hire people to do all kinds of things that isn't in my genre, isn't in my expertise. And so this is something that's important because I believe, and I think, and science proves, as soon as we meet someone for the first time, we're very visual, and we already have our mind made up of who that person is based on how they look.
7 seconds to make a first impression. I heard that might even be shorter, but like it's your body language, your facial expression, and what you're wearing. And I think like those things are all kind of connected, because when you feel good in what you're wearing, you carry yourself differently. You might, you're going to, your body language and facial expressions are going to shift too. So it's all connected when it comes to
I have been like, literally, I have ran to the grocery store before and looked like a shoe. And then it's true. Like you like, I don't care that much just for one outing, you know what I mean? But if I'm going somewhere special, I wouldn't look like that. But like, I have felt like, when you see people, it's like, you kind of, it happens. So if you don't feel like you look good, it is going to come out in body language and expression. But yet the reverse is also true. Like you said, if you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror and you really like the clothes you're wearing, it puts a little extra pep in your step. It's just science proves it.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what other things, I mean, I know all of these services that you provide. Have you considered going and more adding things or in a different direction, or you're just trying to really stick with what you are doing? It's been 3 years, so you're probably getting really good at it.
Yeah. I'm still really perfecting what I'm doing. I'm still, growing in the sense that I'm getting new clients. I have returning clients, and I have a lot of referrals. So I feel like the health of my business, that to me, that points to a healthy business. So I'm just going to continue to perfect what I'm doing. Hopefully get a little bit of help on some of the back end task stuff. But I'm really, really focused on kind of continuing in what I'm doing. And then I have clients that hire me on, well, I said returning, but also kind of on retainer packages as well, so that I'm working with them consistently on, either a quarterly or seasonal level. And what I think about that as like wardrobe management. So once we've done once I've done a full kind of wardrobe makeover with a client, then it becomes really just maintenance and management. So we know everything in her closet looks great, fits great, she feels good in it. Then it's really just each season kind of taking a look at what are the key trends. Is there anything that needs to be replaced in her, in her wardrobe? What has she worn a lot, worn out, or is there anything she didn't really wear that she thought she would? Should we try to create new outfits? So it's really just taking, again, a consistent look at what do you have, what should we add, and shopping with intention to find those pieces. I think it's like you wouldn't go to the grocery store without a list. If you go to you go to the grocery store without a list, you end up yeah. So I think then you're being, intentional in what you're adding, and everything has an outfit. So, and not just one outfit. Usually when I add, for every item I add to a closet, I try to give 2 to 3 outfits. So minimally.
Right. Yes.
So it's not just adding a lot of pieces and having a lot of clothes. I don't believe you have to have a lot of clothes to have a lot of great looking outfits. So.
And well, have you gone, and I've had this quite a bit, where you go and you notice that they have multiple of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this so much. I bought a blue one and then I bought a pink one.
Even multiple black pants, which I have multiple black pants because they're all styled differently, but I'm talking identical stuff where you're thinking that's where the wardrobe management comes in, because if you're just reaching for what and you keep rebuying the same thing, you're really wasting money and you're not making any new outfits with it when you bring it home. So that's important to do that. I love that you take an inventory and you catalog everything that every one of your clients have. So at any given time, you can go and look at what they have and put things together. Have you had anybody like call you in a panic? Like, oh my gosh, I got an interview. Help me. What do I wear?
Yes, I have. Usually if they're clients I've worked with before, then we just do something quick. If it's somebody new, then it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But if it's someone I've worked with before and they are in a panic, I can help them in a jiffy, especially if I have, if we've done the work to catalog their clothing, then it's easy to, I've had a client actually send me photos from a fitting room. She had a sudden, I think it was a funeral, which is a bit unfortunate, but she had and so she was going to buy a new dress. She probably had dresses in her closet, but whatever. She was going to buy a new dress, but she's sending me photos in the fitting room, asking me which one was best. So I told her what was best. And then I went ahead and told her these from her closet, put it with these shoes, and that, I styled the whole thing. So all she bought was the dress, and she knew what pieces that she already owned.
So beneficial. And especially in times where you're stressed out already and you don't have the energy or the mental energy to put this stuff together, that helps people so much, Erin. And I just feel like there's so many moving parts when it comes to fashion, and it can get a bit overwhelming. And I would always say, when you go to your closet and there's all these clothes, but you don't feel like you have anything to wear, there's a problem there. And so when you hire someone like you can come in and show them, well, here's what we have already. And it's amazing to me how people really shine when they say, I've never thought of doing this.
I know, like when I create outfits from clothes that they already own, and they're like, I would never put this together, but I love it. And then they're feeling like they have so much more that they don't need to go buy a bunch of new clothes. That's actually
you're actually saving them money. That you save them money they pay you to do this, but then in the end of you're helping them use the things that they already have in new ways. So, what would be, and this, you guys, we didn't practice any of this. So all the stuff I'm asking her is like putting you right on the spot, Erin, but you've been so good. What is your like go-to outfit, Erin? Like if you get called and, okay, let's say, because there's different reasons you'll wear certain things. But
Yeah.
say a close girlfriend calls you and she's like, hey, I'm back in town. Come and meet me for brunch. Okay, so like this time of year, you would say, okay, I'll be there. You only have a short amount of time, but you can always go to and do what?
If this time of year brunch, I would probably go to a dress in my closet, like something a little bit, like for me, something a little bit, if it's a brunch, probably a little bit loose and flippy, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
like a
going
little
to be like
sassy
today was 89 degrees or something. So probably probably a dress. Or right now I'm into flowy pants and tank tops. So that would be another go-to for brunch right now.
And then what shoes?
Shoes, I would wear some sort of slide, either a little bit of a platform slide or maybe like an espadrille of some sort.
Yeah. Isn't this fun, you guys? This is so fun. What would Erin wear? The next show we have, we'll say what's trending now. What would Erin wear? And we'll do like a 15-minute show on just what you're wearing. That'll be fun. So I love the shirt you have on. Is it linen though?
It's more like, I kind of thought of you when I put it on. It's a little bit more of a cotton gauzy fabric.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a oldie but goodie here. So
that's what I'm talking about. You buy and I always say it's okay to spend a little bit more on the classic pieces, the pieces that are in the base pieces you're going to be using for a long period of time. And then the trend pieces, I mean, if you can afford it, great, buy the expensive trends.
Right.
But if you're on a budget, you spend your money on the things you're going to have and wear a lot, and then budget out for the trendy pieces.
Absolutely. That's kind of the way I think about my own wardrobe, and that's what I do with clients too. So, do you ever find that people you've worked with before are like, when you have like the basic pieces, that they don't see beyond the basicness, so they don't know how versatile it really is?
I know. And that's the part that amazes them when you go in and say, like the shirt you have on, you're wearing it buttoned up. And I don't know, you probably have some cute little shorts. I don't know what you have on with it, but
I have jeans on.
And even when we were on the radio, what you wore, I loved your jeans. I loved your top. I loved your shoes. And it was just all put together. It just looked clean cut, classy, but also current.
Yeah.
It didn't look like just a basic thing you've had for years, and it just looked really good. So when you have a shirt like that, there's so many different ways you can wear it. You can layer it, you can put stuff under it, you can put stuff over it, you can unbutton it. It's just, you can tie it, all the things. But I just find it interesting that, and when you're like us and you love fashion and you can see beyond the basic, and then other people can't, it makes me feel like I'm that person that people look at that say, why can't I paint? I can't draw. Like if I had to draw, like it's a stick person, that's as good as it gets. But then other people can, we all have our things that we're just naturally good at.
Right.
But you've also had fashion merchandising experience. And I want you to tell me a little bit more about that, because you've been around, you've shopped New York, you've been a lot of places, you have a lot of experience. Give me some 411 on that.
Like what my role was, or what
when you were corporate.
As a merchant, you're really responsible for like the clothing line that is put in the store. So early in my career, I was responsible for a specific product category, and throughout my career, I did different product categories. And by product category, I mean things like, t-shirts. Or I think my very first full buying responsibility was sunglasses. So I picked all the sunglasses that were sold in the stores. And so I did different product categories. Like I was a denim buyer, the jeans buyer for a time in my career. And then as I progressed in my career, I was responsible for an entire like classification of products. So all tops for a brand. And then I was responsible for an entire assortment, so all product categories for a brand. So a lot of times when I think about working with my clients, I'm thinking about the merchandising strategies of building an assortment that has to go together, that has to have basic pieces, that has to have a certain amount of color balance and pattern and print and like shape and fit. So that's kind of what a merchant's responsible for. And then as I advanced in my career, I was doing different types of things, responsible for fabric and trim approvals. In some cases, I was going to Asia for product development trips. So I spent a lot of time in Seoul, Korea, Tokyo, Hong Kong. I've been to Shanghai. I think those are all the cities in Asia I think those are all the cities in Asia I've been to. And then I was shopping Europe as well. So shopping, we would shop for inspiration pieces. Like you shop, on a trip, you're looking to see the trends. Like, what are people wearing? What are you seeing in stores?
Nice.
And then what feels like new, and then that you're getting inspired, really.
Yes.
And then that would lead into creating a concept and a clothing line for an upcoming season in the stores. So I shopped all kinds of places. I've been Florence, Italy, London,
I'm
Paris,
a little bit
Copenhagen. Copenhagen was cool. I used to go to Antwerp in Belgium. Was a common place that I went. London by far is one of my favorite cities.
London, okay.
I really love Florence, Italy. Copenhagen, like I said, Copenhagen was cool just because that's like not a place that people go. A lot of people go.
Yeah.
And then I always say I've been to like just about every major city in the United States, but I've only seen them all. So
But I find it interesting too when you're talking about those the interesting pieces. Like, so you're doing basics, but then you're also wanting to get that wow piece, right? Is that what you're saying? And so, and that's like, even with my boutique, I want to do basics, but then I'm learning, and I'm, I have to meet new vendors and all that. But there are pieces that I'm like, I don't even know if this is going to sell, but I love it. And it would be something I would invest in for that wow piece.
Yeah.
So that would have been so much fun to travel those places and see. Yeah. So do you still, do you study up to see what the trends are, just like worldwide, just to kind of get an idea of what's coming up the lane here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I stay on top of clothing trends. I like to exactly kind of what I just described. Like, you see, for me now, I'm not traveling the way that I used to, but I follow certain trend reports, WGSN, Who, What, Where, some of the resources that I really like. And then obviously, like, you've got street fashion style. I like street style of Fashion Week. There's runway too, but I like street style. So I'm kind of always interested in that. It's just naturally interesting to me. And I'll take note of things that I'm seeing. But then you start seeing it. Then it's like, do you see it at retail? So you start seeing it at retail in terms of what stores you're seeing it at. And then you start seeing it, people wearing it. And so in my mind, you start understanding how something is kind of climbing a trend curve.
Yes.
And where it is emerging as a trend versus where it's starting to become mass appeal. And then it's so interesting to me, once something becomes really mass and appeal, then the opposite thing starts to come in and sneak in, right? Yeah. So I don't know. So I love studying that and kind of following it. And I like seeing if my predictions are right. There are things, sometimes I'm early on my trends. Like I can be a year or two early on.
I know. And I also have done something, I mean, even before my boutique, but bought things that people thought, what is she wearing? And especially since I'm in a smaller town, it can be, and there are things that I still have in my closet that I know are my travel clothes that I really don't feel as fabulous in wearing here.
You feel good in another city. Is that what you're saying? Like, you feel good when,
Yes, because style trends are so different geographically. It really does matter where you are. Yeah. I'm always a person that says, if I get something new, I want to wear it. I don't want to save it. I want to wear it, and sometimes you forget what you have if you don't.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Sometimes I buy things ahead of the trend curve, and then they might sit in my closet for a year. and then I pull them out, and then they're my favorite thing that I wear all the
Nice.
time. But sometimes I'm just, because I'm not like, I always say, if there's a fashion parade, I like to be, I'm towards the front, but I'm not usually like leading it. Like I'm not,
You're not, here I am.
I'm somewhere in the front for sure, but I'm not like, always the earliest on things.
Not the early bird, but you're in there.
Yeah, but maybe early for my, like, for where I am now.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So I want to know about, I heard you say earlier, you have packages, you have package deals that you put together for your clients. What does that look like?
In terms of like
do you have, like, if someone were to say, oh my gosh, I am going to contact Erin because I want to work with her. Do you have like a wardrobe menu or something they can look at?
Yeah. So, I mean, I do three major packages. What I call one is called a wardrobe makeover.
Yes.
That is like the biggest thing that I do. That's where we're doing a really thorough edit of your entire closet. And I'm I'm shopping for new things for you.
Yes.
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
It's all the personal shopping and styling and all of that. So a wardrobe makeover is one of the packages I offer. I offer what I call is a fresh start. Fresh start is really when sometimes like I've had clients who are changing careers, moving from one industry to another, or maybe even getting ready to like take on the next level in their career. And they just needed to up level their style. So they weren't necessarily interested in taking a look at what they already owned. They just wanted to kind of start from scratch. So in that case, I call that a fresh start. And that's where I really build out a small capsule wardrobe for them. So usually around 20 pieces, and I get around 30 outfits for them from those 20 pieces. And then I also offer a reset, the wardrobe reset, which is really mostly focused on a closet edit. And then filling in like from the edit, just identifying a few gaps and like less personal shopping, a little bit more sharing of links with my clients and allowing them to kind of shop on their own for the things that they might be missing.
I can definitely see that you have repeat clients. I can definitely, I understand that. I think you're a sweet person, great personality. You know what you're doing. And it's so cool because you are helping these people so much that they know, they recognize it. I think at first people sometimes it's almost like sticker shock or, well, what? But if you're not, I'm telling you, this is a job. The wardrobe makeover by itself is strenuous. It is a lot of work, and it's a lot of intention and thought that you put into every single client when you're looking at their stuff and you're having them try things on. And do you do that? Do you have them try things on so you can
absolutely. Yeah. Because I want clients to understand when they look at themselves in the mirror, if they like what they see or don't like what they see, I want them to understand why, so that they can a lot of times I feel like women especially can be very self-deprecating. They put something on, they don't like it, and then they're like, something's wrong with me. And it's not that necessarily. It could be that the styling just needs a little bit of a tweak. And then, you need to define your waist a little bit more, or scrunch up the sleeves, or do something.
Oh, it's so true.
So I like for them to understand why something's working for them or why something isn't working for them, so that they feel a little bit more empowered to make decisions for themselves, or just empowered to feel good about themselves and not blame themselves, but blame the clothes. Like
blame the clothes, people. Blame the clothes.
There's no regulation in clothing sizing.
No,
there's
awful.
nothing that is that's saying the clothes are right. So
that's right. So what? And this is like a out there question, but when you're talking about cuts of things earlier and fabrics and whatever, do you find that European clothes lines typically run smaller than clothes made other places? Not
European.
China, because China's like toddler sizes half the time.
Yeah.
Order some,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. No, Europe, I do think European clothes can be cut a little smaller. Sometimes like some of the just higher end designer lines can be cut a little smaller.
I 100% agree. But then the higher end United States designers, the higher end, you can wear smaller clothes. I
Yes,
get that.
so yeah,
I was
probably.
like, oh, is it glamour sizing? Like, oh,
So
wow.
then, yeah, so then you should just buy what fits you well and not worry about what the
Not
size
worry
is.
about the size.
Right?
This is a great lesson. All of us should not always be a shopper just based on what size something is. Just, I mean, I am anywhere. I am a range of sizes depending on the designer. It is, I don't get all worked up about it. I just want it to fit my body the right way.
Exactly.
You
Right.
feel that way too. I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what about, okay, so you told me about the packages that you have. What is your most popular package?
I don't know. I think I either do resets or fresh starts the most.
Okay.
Because I think those are probably those are the things that, somebody is either having their biggest problem is they have too many clothes in their closet and they just want someone to help them like sift through that, or they really are just like overwhelmed with shopping and feel like they need to freshen up their wardrobe. So those are probably the two things. Those are the two I do the most often.
Do you ever have anybody who can't be with you during the edit, during the wardrobe makeover?
I have had, I usually tell people that they need to expect to spend at least 3 hours with me.
I
I'll
think
say
that that's absolutely best. And
Yeah.
I've always required that too. I only had one client that said, I absolutely can't. I just want you to go in and get rid of things and put outfits together.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, it was weird.
I mean,
It was weird because I'm like, how? And so I just made a pile. I'm not going to like literally get rid of it so that she could see, you know?
I did that. I did have one client really early on that wanted that from me, and she had worked with another stylist before, so I think maybe that's what they did. I don't know, but she just had me come in. She showed me where her closet was, and then left me. And she told me like exactly that. She said, "Go ahead and take things out if you think I should get rid of them." So I had a little pile of stuff that I thought maybe she should get rid of. And then I made a whole bunch of she had a lot of clothes and I could put outfits together. So I put outfits together from her clothes. But then when I went and showed her the pile of things to get rid of, she looked at me like I was like so wrong. And like she hated me. And I was like, that was the wrong thing to do.
I know, but if you're not there to discuss why, and here's this and try this on, because we don't know if this is going to fit correctly if you're not there. But that was the same thing. I was like a deer in headlights when she left. I was like, she's for real. She's leaving right now. So I put outfits together and got really the things I got rid of just were things that looked like maybe they had been worn out. You needed, okay. So if I want to talk about this first, and then I'm going to ask the question that I ask every client. But if someone's interested in talking to you about perhaps hiring you for one of your services, what is the best way to contact you, Erin?
Either through my website, which is morethanstylellc.com. You can send me an email through my website. You could also just direct message me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, sure. You could do LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. I'm there under, there's my Instagram, More Than Style LLC.
Are you LLC.com on your website?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to shoot this over to you, Lynn, if you want to do your fancy work and put a banner at the bottom. So they can contact you through your website or all of your social media platforms.
Absolutely.
And we just showed you guys that it's More Than Style on Instagram. And I am a fan of yours. I've seen what you've put together. I absolutely love your Instagram page.
Thanks.
That's like inspo. Anytime you guys you wake up and you're having a brain cramp at your closet and you don't know what to wear, she gives you amazing ideas, and you will be able to find things in your closet that she is putting up there, because there are a lot of its basic pieces. And I love when you, what you write about and how you why you put things together. It's just really cool. So it can help all of us because we all get stuck sometimes.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really great. So I would definitely love to have you on again, and we could just do a topic like for Christmas, like Christmas attire and what's cool and what's
okay. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be
I don't know. We'll think of something together, I'm sure. But this doesn't have to be related to fashion, Erin. This is just a general question that I ask everybody because the show is called Find It. So what in life? Wait, Trisha Harp just said, are you sure you two are
sister from another mister?
That's what it is. That's what it is. I know, Trisha, we thought the same thing. Mindy Dreyer, if you're watching, girl, you are a matchmaker. So in life, what have you found that you can share with us to inspire us to find it too? I'm going to say it again. What have you found in life? It can be love. It can be fitness. It can be health. It can be faith. It can be success. What have you found in life that you can share with us so we can find it too?
I guess I wasn't prepared for that at all. I think just embracing your authenticity, because, and, you know, like really, people say it all the time, stop caring what other people think, but literally just be you. I read a book called The Four Agreements a couple years ago. Have you read this one?
Yes.
And it really did change the way that I kind of approached, and it still sticks with me. I actually reread it earlier this year, but just letting go of making assumptions about what other people are thinking about me, making judgments. The amount of times I'm judgmental and didn't realize it, when I kind of started to let some of that stuff go, take nothing personally, make no assumptions, and just started living as I am, I feel like I started being a lot more authentic. And so I would say, just kind of living more authentically, or living authentically to who I am, and know that I'm a good person, I guess.
And you are, and I feel your energy, Erin, and I've met you in person, and it's just exactly who I thought you were. And I think that it's important to also realize what you just said is that, and let's just not forget that the reason you read that book too was because you were making an investment in self to be better, to continue to grow as a person, because you want that. So I always feel like anyone that reads books like that, or go and they talk to people to really want to know how they've achieved something, that's you on a path of betterment. That's you caring enough about being a better person, which speaks volumes to me. But what I want to say to the crowd here is it's as simple as finding the right book that can impact you to help you see some things about yourself and help you grow. And so I think that's great. And thanks for sharing that you had read that book, and maybe some of you guys would want to pick it up too and check it out so you understand where Erin's coming from on this. So I love it. That's great. It's been a great show. I feel like I've just had I feel like putting pajamas and fuzzy socks on and having wine with you. And just
for sure. Continuing on, right?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, my producer, Len, in the back, for sharing this. I was so excited to get in with Erin that I just didn't even say this episode is sponsored by Studio 11 Style. And this is the free app you can download in your Play Store and check out the things that I have and the new things that I have. And if you have the app, you'll get notified when I do my live streams on Monday night. We talk about tips and tricks and fun things, not just the clothes we put on our back, but it's about us growing as human beings, like Erin just said, and we share. It's a community of 11s, which is on a scale from 1 to 10, you're an 11. And that's just simply put, I have a whole list of what being an 11 really means. But at the end of the day, what it means is you want to be a better person. Okay, let's just, all the stuff I've written, and I came from the heart. But if I'm saying that, that's what it means. So come and see us on Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And Erin, I want to have you on again if you would like. And we can do fun stuff together and share. Maybe you could even do, because I see you even have like dress forms behind you and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe even you could put outfits together or do something. We'll think about this and come back and really give it a 1-2 punch. So with that, y'all, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. It's hump day. And don't forget to find it or try to. And I will see you again next week, same time, different guest. Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you.
That floats around me, keeping me